two words: made in America.
All right. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this, y'all. So, in this video presentation, I'm going to show and prove to all of you that you are not responsible for this man on the screen becoming president. And it was shown to us all in the movie Leave the World Behind, but this is an Easter egg I believe a lot of you all may have missed. So let's go.
Hello, this is John with Theology Ed. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
And before I go any further, let me give my copyright disclaimer. Fair use is granted under the Copyright Act of 1976 for criticism, news, entertainment, etc. And this video is done for entertainment purposes only. I'm borrowing this from Theology Ed, and I will not be playing the whole thing, just a short portion of it. So let's go.
The series on Leave the World Behind. This one is, I'm going to call it like Trump 1, What's Next? Why What's Next? Well, the last time we saw that the Leave the World Behind video, or film, which was produced by the Obama's production agency, actually has a lot of predictive programming about the recent election, and in fact showed that Trump would win, that he would return to the White House after he had been away. And so we have good reason to think that, well, now we can get a feel for what comes afterwards. And we've already seen Trump this time around, if you've been following the news at all, is making a lot of selections or appointees which are controversial, and a lot of people who are supporters of Trump and MAGA, they're all excited about this because, he's finally draining the swamp. He's finally choosing people who aren't just your traditional insiders and who may actually be disruptive in some important or valuable way, they think. And, we'll see. But the predictive programming suggests that, well, it's not going to turn out well. It's not going to turn out well is what the predictive programming is showing. And in fact, it makes sense that they would want this to happen before things really start to fall apart and collapse, because who would they want to blame? People like this. And then they can group in there all the conspiracy theorists or the religious people that they find offensive or that they don't like very much. Okay, they can group their opponents and treat them as the enemies that destroyed the whole thing. It was working fine until these people came in. Now, so we're looking
just
at
like they already blaming him for the California fires.
Part 4, and the very fast review, just so people are up on it. We have them going on a trip. They go to this White House. They enter the White House at 11:16, the Donnie Darko clock, like the election in November 2016, 11:16. That is when they entered the White House. That was that election. Okay, and that's also when you enter the unstable tangent universe, where now that Trump is in the picture, the whole world come to an end, and they were all worried about that. That night they go back, and the clock is again at 11:16, because when the unstable tangent universe collapses back on stuff, you go back to the beginning, so you get a repeat of that 2016 election where Trump won against a Democrat woman. Here, Trump again in this election against a Democrat woman wins, and we have the return, and afterwards the Jenga stack falls, the collapse. And we saw these dates, 11/4, up before the election, 11/6, the post-election period, and then 12/2, which is when that, what is his name? One of the commenters pointed out, a very good comment, the attorney who is prosecuting Trump, hold on, just so I remember the name, it's Jack, I can't believe I forgot his name. It is, Jack Smith. I thought that was it, but I didn't want to say it and sound dumb. All right, but so we have Jack Smith is supposed to bring something by December 2nd, so maybe that's an actual date that's important, that we're going to gain some new information or insights at that point that's related to the tensions and problems that we're headed towards, perhaps. But anyways, the White House is represented as a ship, where the upper deck is comfortable, cozy, and you could see the seas and all of that. And the lower deck is where the slaves are, and you have some.
Yo, not for nothing, sorry to interrupt y'all, but I pointed this out to my sisters. I watched this movie with my older sisters when it first came out, and I pointed this out to them because look at this. See this? I was like, look at the wallpaper, and then look at the basement, all covered in wood, the picture right here, you know what I'm saying? The red spots represent where all the tyranny went on at. This is supposed to be a ship, but they was looking at me like I'm crazy. They was like, really, little sis? But they my older sisters, so they ain't really, you know what I'm saying, peep it like that. Let's go.
Oppression all across the United States, and all the evil that has been done to people, and Indians, and war, and all sorts of things on that,
Indians.
Which we've covered already, I think, in part 2 of the series. You can look at that map very closely. And so we have this symbolism going on, and that night, while they're there, in comes George and Ruth representing the Obama presidency and those who support him in sort of an uprising against the powers, right? So we have G.H. or George Scott, the captain of this ship, which we've talked about, and the 96 slaves in the lower deck of that ship, 96 slaves, who came up in a kind of revolt. Okay, it was a revolt on Little George. But the idea is that when the Trumps are in the White House, we get an interruption in their stay. Now, we have
this up on
Darko
Google and
symbolism,
showed
and that's
them
where you get
this.
the unstage primary universe and the unstable tangent universe, and we come out of that. But at the time, right before they came out of it, we saw the election right before 11/4, on 11/4. They're like, we need to get them out of here. We're not going to do that by scaring them. You got to give them the sense of comfort, like things are okay. They need to think everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay, isn't it? She says. And there's no answer, just eerie music suggesting no. Now, later on, we saw they got scared, and here is the White family leaving the White House and going out elsewhere. That's Trump leaving the White House, the end of the first term, if you want to think of it that way. And when you go out, the whole world starts to fall apart while he's out. That's when you get COVID, all the bad stuff going on. And so they have to go back. And they go back to the White House. And that's when we entered that's the section about the flood. And the story of the flood came in where Rose talks to her mother in bed and says the story.
All right,
about this
I kind of think y'all got
which
the
was
point.
where
And what I
a
really
man
just wanted to
thought
point
God
out
was going to have to
to
save
you
him
was
some
the
miraculous
clues
way,
about
and he ignored
him
all the opportunities
taking the
that God
election.
provided to
Now let's
save
move
himself.
forward to the next one. Check this one out, because
And
in
so,
that movie,
he gets upset
Leave the World
at God in
Behind,
the story, and
they have what you
says
call
to God,
a secret weapon in
so
the
he goes
audio
up to heaven,
file.
and he's
Check
really
it out.
angry at God, and
This is what it looks like 100% of the time when you open this movie right here is Jurassic Park, for instance. Okay, I'm just showing this to people who have never seen this. For the last 15 years that I have been using Sony Vegas and other editing software, and
that's what I use too.
downloading
Sony Vegas
movies
have
and
been
using
using
them
it
in
for
our own
years.
video production.
I just switched over to a
100% of the
different
time, it's either an MKV or an MP4. Occasionally, you'll download a torrent that's an AV app, but not very often. And this is what it will always look like. One video file right here, one audio file right here, always. That's been my experience. Now let me show you what happened when we downloaded and put the movie Leave the World Behind onto Sony Vegas. There you go. Stunning. Stunning. One
Look at
video
all those
file,
files.
4 audio files opened up. And this one, this 4th audio file, seems to be the weapon. This is a...
Did you hear what he said? It seems to be
ELF
weapon.
audio file seems to be the weapon. This is a ELF, low frequency infrasonic wave right here.
Low frequency infrasonic wave. Yes, those are used and they are considered to be weapons. Music, frequency, vibration, all those things are very, very important, which is why they changed the music from 432 hertz to, I believe, 440 to get you all amped up and hyped up and all crazy acting every time you hear the music, which is how many of you act nowadays.
And so we are gonna run the camera back on again. So this is big news, just so people realize. In 15 years of video editing, I have never downloaded, now speaking specifically a movie file, okay, a Hollywood movie from torrent, downloading it in either MKV, MP4, occasionally AVI, 100% of the time, over 1,000
this
movies
little
I've
rumble.
done this with. You have video file, audio file, period. This is the very first time I've ever seen anything like this with the 4 files. Bonnie's going to go into now talking about the infrasonic sound waves and what we found out about them, and the fact that there's one here. And the point is, we're going to go back after Bonnie gives you some information about what it is we're dealing with and how this is a weapon. Then we're going to go back towards the end of the live stream and hit specific places where this weapon was used against anybody who watches it.
You hear that? We're going to go to specific places where this weapon was used against anyone that watched it.
Because my primary client works in the defense sector, I spent a lot of time studying the cost-benefit analysis of military campaigns. There was one program in particular that terrified my client the most.
Look at his face. He looks terrified.
Stage maneuver that could topple a country's government from within. First stage was isolation. Disable their communication and transportation. Make the target as deaf, dumb, and paralyzed as possible.
We all know, but still pay in.
Now this dude right here is just creepy. Like, I can't even, yo, for real though, I can't even understand or believe that this man is allowed in America. Because when he gets up and he gets his speeches, the people cheer him on. They cheer him on, they stand up and give him standing ovations. How this man is allowed to get up in America the Great and say the things that he's saying. Because actually right now at this point in time, I don't think they really care what we think. They're just smudging it all in our face. You know what I mean? It's literally playing in your face. Because this man right here, he can be seen on many, many platforms talking like this. Insane.
Insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen.
He all on TikTok. Yeah, that's probably why I want to take TikTok down, because TikTok got too much information going around right now. Please, they informing people on way too much stuff. Like, damn, we ain't want y'all to know all that. Not yet, not yet. We ain't ready yet. Is it ready yet? No, not yet. See, that's probably why they need it in TikTok gone.
In this respect, as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as Florida alignment.
The interim president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know the left hand.
That's awareness, like,
So many. Are y'all paying attention?
I'd stay out with what we see on the news.
And not just being entertained. But anyway, let's go for it.
It's much scarier.
What is the truth?
The one and only Jordan Maxwell is going to break down how and why we do not actually pick the president. We are just electing the president, which is very different from selecting. Let's go.
Story, as I said, about the deception that goes on throughout the world about the real world and how it actually works. So all I'm suggesting is that you might want to take some time out of your life and start looking at the reality of the world you live in, because the world is growing more and more dangerous, more and more ignorant, and extremely violent. And unless and until the people rise up and decide to take back their sovereignty and do something about their lives and quit waiting for government to do something, because in America, Americans love to talk about how we have the ability to elect our leaders. We're big on talking about how we can elect our leaders. But as Dick Gregory once said a long time ago, yes, we can elect our leaders, but you can't select your leaders. You don't select anyone. Your masters who own you will select who will run. You can merely vote on whoever they decide to allow you to vote on. And so when people go to the polls, for instance, people every 4 years are talking about going to the polls. How many people have ever wondered, what does the word poll mean? Why do you have to go to the poll? It's like Gallup, the Gallup company, it's called a Gallup poll. Anytime some company is taking a poll, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that they are electing anybody. You take a poll to get a consensus of what the people are thinking. That's what a poll is. It's called a Gallup poll. There are many other companies that conduct polls for universities, for government. So that's what a poll is to get a consensus of what the people are thinking. How many people like this color or this product as opposed to how many like the Pepsi as opposed to Coca-Cola as opposed to root beer? And so they take a poll. And so the poll shows that that the masses all particularly like one product. That's all they wanted to know. Just which one do you like best? It doesn't mean much of anything. It's just a poll. And so every 4 years, Americans go to the poll to tell their masters who own them. And they do own you. Your body is a security on the New York Stock Exchange. You need to understand that. And so every 4 years, your masters who actually own your body
we were actually the first ones
want to know
on the
which
stock
one
exchange.
of these individuals that work for us, they work for the corporation, they work for the company, but which one of these would you feel better about having at the head of the company? Which one do you personally like? All 6 of them work for the company. They work for the government, period. But which one do you particularly like? Because this way, if you particularly like one and you vote for him, then we will make him the president of the company, and you will actually own your body. Want to know which one of these individuals that work for us, they work for the corporation, work for the company, but which one of these would you feel better about having at the head of the company? Which one do you personally like? All 6 of them work for the company. They work for the government, period. But which one do you particularly like? Because this way, if you particularly like one and you vote for him, then we will make him the president of the company, and you will be happy because it was your choice. No, it wasn't your choice. You didn't have the opportunity to select your leader. You only had the opportunity to elect one of the 6 that they gave you, and all 6 work for the same company. So this is why nothing ever gets done, because people don't understand how their world really works. Extraordinary stuff. I suspect that this is a very important
y'all. That's my time. I'm going to end it right here. I think y'all kind of got the message. I just wanted to stop on by and bring this to y'all. And I hope y'all, got the message. I hope you got the message. That's all I'm here trying to do, is get you to get the message, get you to wake up and get you to pay attention. Pay attention, okay? Because I see a lot of people just going off, and I don't know what's on y'all mind. I don't know what y'all watching, what y'all listening to, where y'all at, anything, because I'm seeing people going off. You're buying cars, you're traveling, you're buying all these things, but all you're buying the things that you're going to need in case of any kind of emergency. Do you have water? Do you have lights, flashlights, candles? Do you have something for your babies? Okay, do you have the things you need? Go off, live your life, enjoy your life, travel, all that stuff, but be prepared. Is all I'm saying. Be prepared. Okay, because we watching right now what's happening in the world, and we know that it ain't an act of God. Okay? But yeah, I'm out of here, y'all. That's my time. Thank y'all for stopping on by, rocking out with your big sis. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. And do be sure to give me that thumbs up, or thumbs down, if that's how you're feeling. But just do something. Give me some interaction. YouTube likes that. It helps the algorithm. Okay, so thank y'all for stopping on by, and do remember, the sky's not the limit. If you can see it, you can think it, then you can grab it, and you can have it. Peace. I love y'all.